as I've gotten older, there are a few things about friendships that I'm realizing I'm really not the biggest fan of. And as a freshly 30-year-old who is really prioritizing community this year and has honestly for the last probably for the last year, hopefully it's not too loud. They're like bikes going by. But as someone who has been prioritizing friendship and community lately, I've been thinking a lot about the type of friendships that really don't work for me. And that's what I wanted to talk about first. There are a couple different types of friendships that really irk me. And yeah. I am going to bet that each and every one of us has experienced at least one of these over the course of our life. So anyway, let's get into it. So the first one that I'm realizing I'm not the biggest fan of, and I am very grateful that I don't have too many of these days, is the proximity friend. I think when you're a child, it's so easy to be friends with someone because you go to school with them, right? Your parents are friends. You might live down the street from each other, and it's just kind of easy. But as you get older, obviously life changes happen. People get married, people get jobs, people move across the country, etc., etc. And obviously relationships change anyway, but I do feel like if there is somebody that you want to keep in your life, it is so easy these days with Zoom and FaceTime and phone calls and WhatsApp, and there are so many resources we can use. Heck, even on social media, like Discord, a lot of people keep in touch with their friends via Discord or Instagram. Like, okay, you don't have WhatsApp. Sure, you don't have WhatsApp. But chances are you have Instagram. Chances are you have Instagram video and Instagram audio. I just feel like there are way too many easy ways to keep in touch with someone. And I also understand that a lot of people's love language is quality time, right? Like you want to be there physically with someone, and I do think that's valid. But again, with the friends that have mutually prioritized our friendship, we set on FaceTime calls together. Like, and I almost feel like that's more productive because you don't have to be there. You don't have to entertain someone in real time. Like, what me and my friends would do is we would prop the phone up on FaceTime. We might have a 5-10 minute conversation, and then both of us were doing chores. She'd be folding laundry, I'd be washing dishes, I might be watching a YouTube video, she might be typing away on her laptop. She might like, but it's just the fact that we're taking space for each other, and we both appreciated that. Like, yeah, I don't know. I do understand that there are a lot of people that don't enjoy long distance friendships, and that's okay. I just think I'm at a place in my life where I don't really there's a I'm at this hotel, and there's a hotel cat. Hey kitty. Yeah, no, they came over to me earlier, but I think they got a little spooked by one of the motorbikes. Anyway, um I'll show more of the hotel once I leave, but for now, we're just chilling in the lobby. I'm about to get some work done before the start of the work week. Um, yeah, so that's the first thing. I feel like at this point in my life, there are ways that you can keep in contact with a friend, even if they live far away. And I don't know. I I feel like if someone forgets about you because you move a few miles away, I just don't know that that person is necessarily for me right now. So that's the first one. Number two, and I've talked about this on the channel extensively as well, but the friend who disappears once they find their person, like once they find romantic love. I think it's something. I don't want to use can you guys hear that? I don't want to use a word that's too strong necessarily. I don't want to say like insidious, but there is something we'll use the word interesting for now until my vocabulary catches up, about someone who values a friendship, who values a friendship until they find romantic love. Like like platonic love is a placeholder for them. You know, it's like a consolation prize until they get I'm also in the lobby, and the guy running the front desk is like looking me straight in the face, which is so funny. This is me getting comfortable as a content creator, y'all. uh no, but I do think it's okay. He went upstairs. I don't know, it's something so interesting about how people prioritize the relationships in their life. And I do understand, like, you know, once you found your spouse, your life partner, your mate, your whatever, that person should be the most important person in your life. But as a friend, it feels backhanded, maybe, in a way that's like, okay, thanks for filling this space in my life until I was able to find what I actually wanted. Does that does that make sense? I think so. um yeah, it almost feels like sometimes once someone finds their romantic match, like your friendship is so unimportant to them that you almost have to audition for their time. Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. Like, yeah, prove to me, even though we've been friends for years, prove to me that you're good enough to stay on my schedule. Ew. Ew. I hate that. And again, when priorities shift, there's nothing wrong with that. But I do feel like there's a difference between shifting priorities and not having as much time for your friend, and your friend feeling like a second class citizen in your life. I think there's a way to make sure that someone still feels important to you without, necessarily allowing them to take up as much time as they used to. And I think a lot of people miss that. And last but not least, I've been thinking about this a lot. And I've actually been wanting to make a whole separate video on it, but this is where we'll start. I think in the age of everyone being in therapy, there is a subset of people who either one have consumed too much TikTok therapy, too much short form content therapy, um, or who have overcorrected. So going from no boundaries, going from being a people pleaser, going from, not advocating for yourself, to then overcorrecting and just not being a good communicator. This is something that's been on my mind for a while because I think there are a lot of people who it's it's not that you're protecting your peace, it's not that you have boundaries, you just don't know how to communicate like an adult. And that's a difficult thing because we as humans struggle with balance. But here's what I mean. There are people who have the vocabulary, let's say, to say I'm protecting my peace, but haven't done enough work, or maybe they've done too much work, to be honest, um, to be able to do like the relational side of it. Because it's one thing to say I'm protecting my peace. It's another thing to say, hey, such and such a thing is bothering me, but I really value our relationship and I want to fix it so that we can continue to be friends. And I don't think a lot of people have that second piece, which is valuable. I think that's a big reason why we have so many people who are lonely. Like, isn't Gen Z supposed to be like the loneliest generation? Yeah, Gen Z and like the younger millennials are supposed to be the loneliest generation. And a lot of the, I don't know the exacts on this, it might be millennials who are actually in therapy more, but I feel like that has more to do with like age. You know, we have money for therapy. Somebody 20 probably doesn't. Um, yeah, I think there's a direct correlation between people learning the language of therapy but not getting the full benefit of it in terms of getting past the point of just the surface level, oh, I'm uncomfortable, I need to protect my peace. When working through those moments of discomfort, there's a big crowd coming. Working through those moments of discomfort are I wonder, are people taking tours? I feel like people are taking tours. I need to book a tour. That's what I need to do. We'll see if I do that. If I do that, y'all will get a video. Okay. Uh, where was I? Oh, yeah. Like there's a certain point where you're getting just enough, just enough therapy vocabulary to be inefficient at relationships, at maintaining relationships. And I don't even know that it's like anyone's fault, you know? Like, online therapy speak is a very lucrative place to be because everyone's depressed, everyone's anxious, everyone is going through stuff, and everyone needs help. But there's something, again, the overcorrection when people only have access to 60-second clips, 30-second clips, 20-second clips of someone being like, hey, your friend exhibited this one selfish trait. They must be a narcissist. And I'm like, no, your friend just might have some selfish tendencies and they don't realize it. And you need to tell them that way they can be a better friend, you know? So I think that also bugs me because there's also a point where there's also a point where sometimes when you bring up your own grievances in a friendship, that person takes it as an attack on them as a person rather than like healthy communication. So trying to think of a decent example. If you tell someone that you care about, a friend of yours, hey, you know, I've been feeling like we haven't been spending as much time together, and I want to spend more time with you. I want to feel like, you know, not that I'm number one in your life, but a little more prioritized, like our relationship is a little more prioritized. Sometimes that hits people as an attack. Like, oh, well, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. I'm just not someone who communicates like that. And I'm just not, well, in order to maintain relationships, I mean, ask any of your parents, aunts, grandparents, older cousins, like any relationship that they've sustained for 5, 10, 15 plus years has required some bending. You know, that doesn't mean that you're not. Is that a second hotel cat? Um, it doesn't mean that you're changing who you are. It means that you value this person enough to maybe change certain aspects of your behavior. And I think a lot of people are unwilling to do that. It's so interesting because I think we've, again, the overcorrection from, what am I trying to say? I lost my thought just that quick. Well, yeah. Anywho, I think you get the point. Overcorrection, too much therapy speak, not having a full understanding of, you know, the difference between just understanding a piece of vocabulary and doing the actual work to maintain a certain relationship. Yeah. So anywho, those are those are the three type of friends. in my old, wise 30-year-old age. And I feel like I just don't. I try. I try, but again, if it's not a two-way street, there's not really much I can do about it. And yeah, that's where I am right now. Every city has YNs, apparently. This is a super safe neighborhood. Like, I'm not worried about it. It's just, I just think it's funny. Yeah, anywho. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you don't know, my name is Alexis. I post here on YouTube every single day. Check my track record. I think today is day 58. So, my goal is a minimum of 100 days of daily posting. If you've gotten this far, feel free to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Hop on this train early. We have a good time around here. I'm traveling right now, so probably more content will be travel focused and whatnot. But yeah, thank you so much. So, for those of you who are familiar with the channel and have been following along, I did kind of hint yesterday at, oh, there's some more guests coming. I did kind of hint yesterday at, they coming in here? They sure are. Okay. They hinted yesterday at, having an announcement. So, bienvenidos a Puerto Viejo, Costa Rica. So, they must have just come back from a night out. That's so funny. All their dresses are so cute. Anywho, yeah, so I'm in Costa Rica. I'm in San Jose, Costa Rica. I'll be here for a couple days, and then I'm driving down to the coast. And yeah, it's super cute. I'm in like this little hotel. Might show you a couple other angles of it in other videos, and then once I leave, I'll show a little bit more. The room itself is very tiny. My days here in San Jose, I decided to make them like more budget days, and the next like city coastal town I go to, the hotels are a little bit more of a splurge. But yeah, a few things are super interesting. I'm rambling, but a couple things I thought were super interesting. One, when you come to any new country, Uber generally has, at least if Uber is like readily available in the country, Uber will have a page that specifically tells you how much, not how much, about like where the Uber should pick up and drop off. So when I first got here, I knew that Uber was readily available. I knew that Uber was one of the safer ways to get around. You can absolutely use, taxis, and I know that there's public transportation as well. But um, I I looked at the instructions and didn't realize that like when you get out on the departure, after immigration, after baggage claim, all that stuff, and then of course in so many countries, so many cities, there's like a line of taxis and taxi ma'am, taxi man, no thank you, whatever. You actually have to go upstairs to arrivals to get the Uber, which is something. So it took me a minute to figure out the Uber situation. Yeah, I don't know what that my first little blip there, but anywho, check if you're going to use Uber. They tell you exactly where you should meet. They'll tell you, hey, there's an escalator in this spot. Go upstairs, go around the corner, and you'll see this sign, and that's where you stand. Yeah. So anyway, getting back to the main part of the trip, I am here solo. I'll be here for a week. I'm very, very excited. Costa Rica is a new country for me. So Costa Rica is country number 21. And a few things I'm really excited about. Where I'm staying in this little coastal town, it's there's a black sand beach, and there's like a jaguar sanctuary, and there are so many pictures in all of the hotels that I looked at where there are just sloths in the trees. So I want to see a sloth. I want to see Sid the sloth. I may not be able to like pet a sloth, but I would like to see Sid the sloth. Um, and then I don't know. I might try to do something a little more adventurous as well, like maybe ATVing, maybe an evening jungle hike, maybe kayaking along the coast. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. But excited to be here, excited for more content. I don't know what it was. This past week, I have had a lot of content ideas. And I think with the backdrop to some of these places, like I gotta figure out this orientation here while I'm at this hotel. I don't think this is the best filming location necessarily, but some of the other places. Very excited to show y'all. Yeah, what else? Staying in a very safe neighborhood, like exceedingly safe neighborhood. I think uh a big a big indicator that a neighborhood is safe is when there are like kids and women walking around. And I also think, especially, not to say anything's wrong with it, uh, you can tell by the way the women dress that they're coming back from a club. It's not like, oh, police car, okay, all right. It looks like they're patrolling. Nothing going on there. Yeah, yeah, you can tell they're just like groups of women out on nights out, just enjoying themselves. I think that's a really big indicator that a neighborhood is safe. I was reading that, like, in most parts of the city, you should probably be in by like 9 or 10 p.m. just to be on the safe side. And it's 9:13 now, so we'll see how many people keep walking by in, the next hour or so. But there have been groups of women, there have been single women. I would say most women are here in like groups of two. It just felt very, they don't look like they have a care in the world. And I do think the local women tend to know best, but I'm excited to explore more of this area that I'm in right now. They're like really cute. I don't know what I was expecting from San Jose, but I think this neighborhood specifically is like very trendy, very, lots of cafes. There are like gastro pubs and French restaurants and Italian restaurants. I had pad thai for lunch when I first got back to the hotel. Yeah, they're just I'm very excited to eat here. Also, the other thing, Costa Rica is not a budget destination. And because this was a last minute trip, not that I didn't consider that, but I didn't realize, I guess, how much of a not budget friendly location this was. Still maintaining my budget, but I was looking at some of these prices. I'm like, hold on, hold on. Because I think it's easy to assume that in a Central America, I get so confused as to which countries are Central America and which countries are South America. But anyhow, um, I'm gonna say as a Central American country, you almost assume that it's gonna be significantly cheaper, and Costa Rica seems to be about on par so far in terms of food and whatnot. In some places, that might even be a little bit more expensive. But I am gonna try some kind of different restaurant tiers and that sort of thing. So we'll see. Yeah, I had what pad thai, and I thought that was a club. It's a police car patrolling, and the lights are bouncing off the building. Um, I had pad thai and some ceviche that was so delicious. Oh my god, this ceviche. I don't know. I don't know what mint and lemon juice. I don't understand how it could be that delicious on some raw fish with some crispy chips. Oh my god. I am trying not to get fat. I might need to go on a walk tomorrow. Yeah, also, I am remote working. This was a last minute thing, but I don't know. On Wednesday, I was like, I want to go somewhere. And so I like contacted my company's security team and was like, hey, can I bring my laptop to Costa Rica and work? And I got a message like less than 24 hours later. They were like, yeah, do what you want. I was like, yes, another benefit of this career that I'm thoroughly enjoying, because who knows how long I'm going to be here. Fairly confident that I'll be in remote work for a while, but you just never know. The world is a crazy place. Um, yeah, so I'm really trying to fully embrace all the benefits of it while I have this benefit. So yeah, y'all. I feel like I yap just as much about the fact that I'm here as I did the actual video topic. This is gonna tank my watch time. I've got to stop doing this. Yeah. Anywho, all right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching again. My name is Alexis, and I will see y'all tomorrow.